What's up, YouTubers? It's time for our yearly random anime tier list! How is this one of the most popular series on my channel? Regardless though, I enjoy doing this. I know you all enjoy doing this. I know our guests enjoy doing this as well, despite what they say. So let's call them out! Ironzaku, Hawthorne, get your butts over here!
And just like that, my ass is ready for battle.
I walk in the realms of both VTuber and Flesh and can still not find a maiden.
Shout out to all the Elden Ring players.
Yeah, welcome back, you two. Are you two excited for our random anime tier list?
Oh, absolutely. It's tradition at this point.
Yeah, a little bit, considering a lot of these, I think all three of us have seen at least some of.
And it's a good thing you're pointing that out, my friend, because some key eye viewers would notice that we've got 13 anime in this list. Normally, we do 15. So why is that? Well, we like to improve upon this series bit by bit, and we did a poll on my YouTube community tab, and you all voted that these two get an entry in the random anime tier list. I guess you all really liked the video where these guys make me an anime tier list. So why don't we go ahead and have these two introduce the anime they're plopping into the tier list?
Well, for the shits and giggles for this tier list, I decided to throw in a bit of an interesting curveball, and that is, of course, drumroll please, the anime adaptation of Rick and Morty. Yes, there is a show called Rick and Morty, the anime. It's real, it's not fake, and I wish I was going crazy right now.
And I was a bit fiendish here. I picked Do You Love Your Mom and Her Two-Hit Multi-Target Attacks.
Okay, so they added it in. We've got 15 anime. All is right with the world. But before we begin, let's go over the rules and what is happening for those who haven't been to the series before. First of all, for the anime that we're ranking, we went to my anime list and hit the random button in order to pick out the picks for this list. Which makes this tier list completely random. I don't get a say in what anime is being added, and neither do my guests, apart from the anime they each added. And speaking of the tiers, let's quickly go over them. We've got Masterpiece right at the top. These are, of course, 10 out of 10 anime we absolutely love and adore and see no faults with whatsoever. We've got Amazing. Of course, these are amazing anime. They may be a little bit of fault, but we still see them in high regards. We've got Good, which is middle of the ground. These are still pretty good anime. Yes, there are faults with them, but we would still say they are good. We've got Watchable, which are anime we'd probably watch only once and never really think about again. And finally, Never Again. We don't want to think about these anime anymore. We never want to go near them. We don't even want to think about them. So put them away. And of course, while we're talking about these anime, there's of course going to be spoilers related to these anime, so please keep that in mind while going through this video. And of course, when we rank these anime, these will be our personal opinions. These are just our own opinions on these anime. They're not other people's point of view on these anime. These are not the overall decisions making on these anime. These are just our personal opinions on what we think of them and where we personally rank them. You're more than welcome to put your opinions on these anime down within the comment section down below, whether you love them, hate them, disagree with our opinions, etc. And of course, while you're down there, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It really helps this channel out, especially since we're so close to 1,000 subs. Please help us get over that threshold.
And as a side note, if you do hit that like button, like smash it all the way, Ironzaku, will go the extra mile in delivering you your very own personalized anime mecha. So hit that like button now.
So with all that important stuff out of the way, let's start off with the first one being Banish from the Heroes Party. I decide to live a quiet life in the countryside.
Can I just say right out the bat, that sounds like a bit of an interesting subversion of the Isekai genre, where you would expect it to be like another major protagonist going on a party and going out and saving the world, but it's just like, you know what? I'm just fed up with all this. I'm just going to live a nice, quiet life in the country. So that's actually quite a nice subversion, if that is the case.
Unfortunately, mate, it's not an Isekai.
Oh, fair enough.
Basically, it's just main character, Red, he hasn't got OP powers. He just decides, you know what, fuck it. I'm banished from the heroes party. OMG, that's the title. And he just decides to live a quiet life and open a pharmacy.
An apothecary, to be more precise.
But literally, that's it.
Yeah. One of the heroes' party members decided he's not worthy, kicks him out. He decided to live life in the countryside until an old friend of his, in one of his adventures, turns up, gets really mad on his behalf that he got kicked out after all his hard work, and decides to live with him and try and stay with him forever because she is in love with him.
Absolute wholesomeness.
Very.
I did make a couple notes about. I did watch a good chunk of this, so
Alright.
I do have a couple notes, but I will mention the funnier ones. So one of the characters, Big Hawk, incites a rebellion and starts a drug empire.
He pulls off a Breaking Bad, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Oh,
And I can't remember the context for this. I just put Otto discovers capitalism.
I gotta say, one of my most favorite parts about it has to be Rita, the character where they met up on certain missions in the past and chose to live with our main character, Red. And despite her physique, it's not a fan service anime, which definitely would surprise a lot of people if they just saw the cover of this anime.
So it has a lot more going on to it than just the cover.
Yeah, especially like if you see it in your local shops, it's definitely would make you think it, but it's not.
I mean, I wouldn't blame people who think about that. I would not blame them in the slightest.
And of course, the story overall is extremely wholesome. I love it, especially when the hero and Red have a great brother-sister dynamic, and the whole plot, like, is your blessing really the thing that's supposed to guide your journey into what you should be, or should only be a thought that's one option you could take?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alright, now for the big event. Where should we rank this?
I feel like the episodes I did watch, they were pretty good.
And from what I've heard about what was said, I would imagine that this would definitely be a show that you would pop on to have a good time all around. So I'm thinking either a tie between amazing or good, depending on your point of view.
Well, I've personally seen all through season 1, clearly shown because I have the Blu-ray of it.
Yeah.
I've seen season 2 and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a season 3 in the works. I'm not so sure off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure there's something on the screen that says there is a season 3, or there isn't a season 3, or there's material for a season 3. But I absolutely love this anime. I definitely got me hooked when I watched it. Definitely shows a lot of creativity. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in amazing. Because it's downright amazing. It is almost a masterpiece. There's just some slight nitpicks here and there regarding it, but it's still amazing. Next one up is one you're going to have to start Sword Art Online.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
The
God.
anime that was everywhere back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
The one that kicked off the Isekai genre.
And popularized it for better or for worse, depending on your anime tastes.
But for those who don't know what it's about, basically back in 2022, because I did a Did You Know fact about it, there was a Nerf Gear release, a video game console where basically you are experiencing the entire virtual world. Unfortunately, within the game of Sword Art Online, Akihiko Kayaba traps 10,000 players within his game, and they have to beat the game by clearing all 100 floors in order to free themselves. But unfortunately, if you die in the game, you die for real.
Just like Spy Kids 3.
Absolute childhood classic.
So let's get the big elephant out of the room when it comes to this anime. This is widely hated because it is SAO. A lot of anime fans out there famously hate it because they can't connect with the story, or because of one specific detail related to it, or just one thing that happens and apparently it just ruins the entire story. So basically, it's Marmite of anime.
You either love it or you hate it.
I actually have a bit of a weird story with this anime.
Go ahead.
I'm keen to hear it.
So, this was actually the first anime I watched start to finish.
Wow.
So, like, season 1 of this was the very first one I watched.
Yeah.
And I liked it at the time. Then I discovered more anime, and I realized, oh, this is a bit naff.
Yeah. I appreciate Sword Art Online as a gamer, personally. As someone who does some VR gaming, you, Zaku, will know this very well because of our Phasmophobia streams and any other game that has VR.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So playing that is a lot of fun to me, and a VR Sword Art Online game is pretty fun as well. I experienced that within VR chat. That was a lot of fun. I may not or may not have props from the show, despite being anime.
I did always prefer the look of Dark Repulsor to Elucidator.
However, I just remembered as well, we might as well bring up another element of the show that divides people in that, and that is, of course, the main protagonist of the story, Kirito. How do you all feel about him?
The Black Swordsman.
I still stand by the fact, right, that Guts from Berserk is the real one. He is the Chad, and Kirito, get the fuck out. That's my take.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Again, let me remind you, Reese, Berserk existed way before SAO. So Kirito, the unapologetic bastard that he was, stole that title from Guts. Sorry if I ran on a bit of a tantrum, but still. Guys.
Yeah.
Well, I still like Kirito. I think he's interesting. He's just an average guy who just fell into all of this and somewhat became a pawn of Akihaiba. And I think what really held me into the series, at least season 1, is of course the first few episodes, getting trapped, dealing with the first floor boss with his team up with Asuna, and then the tragic turn. I can't remember if this happened in episode 3 or 4. Please correct me on screen. When he joined his first team, the Moonlight Cats, I think they're called.
Oh, yeah,
And they-
that episode.
That one.
That was depressing.
Yeah.
And it was a Christmas episode, of all things.
Yes.
Because nothing screams Christmas than getting depressed.
Alright, so I think we pretty much hit every nook and cranny of Sword Art Online. Where should we rank this?
I personally would put it in good, because while I can gripe on it for its flaws, I can appreciate it for the fact that it was sort of my gateway into less mainstream anime at the time. So, like, literally without this, I wouldn't have watched things like Beyond the Boundary.
If I had to rate this one myself, I would say, for the most part, kinda, sorta, good. Though a part of me wants to say watchable just because of the fact that when it comes to the premise of being in a virtual world, I think it's fair to say I've seen this premise done before, and in some instances done much better. I think a prime example I can think of, and I'm sure you two have seen it, is the movie Ready Player One. That one I think did the virtual thing better, just because maybe it's because I'm a huge sucker for pop culture, 80 references, and vice versa. But I'll say good for now.
Well, considering I've got the entire series on DVD and showed off before that I've got the swords, I'm pretty sure you two will admit that I've held this in high regards. I mean, I really enjoy the series. I mean, it's the thing that kicked off the Isekai genre. Despite, in my personal opinion, this is not an Isekai. Which, I know, it's probably blasphemy to some people I don't think of it as an isekai. But yeah, I love the story, the little details. The fight scenes are amazing, especially like the really tense moments, like the battle against Akihiko Kaiba, the the virtual battle, and the real life battle against Sugo, the Death Gun battle in Sword Art Online 2 is one of my all-time favorites because of how it just brings up so much trauma for both Kirito and the quote-unquote new girl that's joined his team, Xenon, who a lot of people say has got the best butt in all of anime. I on the fence when it comes to that. And just a lot of the emotion, it's really amazing whenever I watch it. I can never look away when I'm watching, especially the hyped up parts of Sword Art Online. I honestly think, Zaku, you might disagree with Good if you actually went to watch it, because from my personal experience, I don't think you've watched it yet, have you?
Not at the time of us making this video.
No. So, I think last time we put it in amazing because it still is an amazing series to me. It's, at the time of recording, I believe it's done. There is word of one more story because of what was shown in the after credits of the last Sword Art Online series, because Kirito's story is not done.
Yeah,
but
no.
Yeah, but it's still. I know you two are going to hate me for this. It still is amazing, but it might get dropped down to good because again, it's 2 against 1. You two saying it's good, but my personal opinion, it is amazing. Give it a try at the very least. At least the first 3 episodes. Yeah, at least the first 3 episodes get the idea of the emotion behind these characters.
Fair enough. I mean, the reason why I'm still saying good is because, again, I've seen this premise done better, but I've seen much worse, so there's that.
Yeah. Next one up is one that'll give you an out-of-body experience, Kokoro Connect.
It's an interesting concept. Like, it's basically body swapping therapy, but God is involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the story goes as this: we got 5 students who were part of the same club, so they got this big friendship circle going on. And one day, 2 of them, a boy and a girl, suddenly swap bodies overnight. Then another 2, another boy and a girl, they swap bodies in front of everyone. And as soon as they swap back, the next day, 3 of them swap bodies and then swap back. And then an entity comes in possessing one of their teachers, saying this is part of an observance. We're here to watch you randomly swap bodies and collect data from it. So they are unknowingly swapping bodies for the foreseeable future, and then they will use that experience to help each other grow and become closer.
Yeah, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is pretty much the premise.
And I mentioned it to these two before. There is a poster of the Undertaker in the club room that every time it showed up, even if it was just as something as simple as the shoulder of the poster, I was just laughing. Because that is a real goddamn person.
Yeah, I remember you sending me that when you were checking it out, and I was just like, is this real? The Undertaker in an anime!
It's just like this really serious scene, and then there's the Undertaker in the background.
Probably because one of our main male lead within the story is obsessed with wrestling.
Could you imagine that in like a more serious anime? Like you're watching One Punch Man, the final episode of season 1.
Yeah.
Boros versus Saitama, and then just randomly in the background, the Undertaker's tombstoning someone.
Now that is what I would love to see, an anime version based on the Undertaker just whooping ass in One Punch Man. That would be crazy.
I mean, hey, you can watch the Jetsons vibe with The Big Show. and
Oh
Sheamus.
yeah, I remember that. Oh.
Well, I might as well also say, guys, this did spawn a legendary anime meme that was pretty big at the time of this anime's release.
Mm.
And that was the girl, one of the girls in this series, whispers something in our main protagonist's ear, which is, I jerk off to you too. But a lot more on the nose.
Oh.
Oh, I think I remember
my.
seeing that somewhere. Yeah, oh my, indeed.
So yeah, that's that's something to watch. And it's not going to take you too long. I think it's only 17 episodes off the top of my head.
Yeah. Not too long.
Yeah, it's all good length.
Yeah, and it's quite wholesome. You're not going to get anything crude, considering they're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And we know we're not going to get much of the term fan service, because one of the girls literally blurt out their cup sizes, I think, in like
Oh, yeah.
the second episode.
In, like, one of the episodes as well, there's a scene of one of the male characters and one of the female characters in the club room alone. And as a part of another test, they're, like, forced to act on their deepest desires. And the female character starts unclothing herself and crawling across the table.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And one of my favourites is again from the beginning, where both the guys swap with two of the girls and they record each other pretending asking someone out. So it's it's like,
right.
what on earth? And the girls, of course, are not having it. So they prepare to get revenge using the guy's body,
Fair enough.
like running around the track naked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
So those are the kind of shenanigans you're going to get throughout the series.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's get to ranking. Where should we put this?
You will leave for that poster of The Undertaker, amazing.
I'm going with you as well, just for the Undertaker.
I-
Amazing for the Undertaker.
I'll have to actually kind of argue with you two, like with SAO. I'm personally putting good. It was a good watch, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but it's not exactly something that's like going to appear in my tops.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason you're putting it amazing is because of that poster. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Not wrong at all.
Ignore the poster. Where would you put it?
I guess we'll put in good
Put in
then,
good.
in the end. Yeah, put in good.
Like I said. Because, yeah, it is a enjoyable watch. I love the psychological side of it. Like the whole body swapping gimmick, how they're using it to help each other by being in each other's shoes, literally, metaphorically, and in between. And how they all become closer at the end of it. Next one up is one where you gotta catch them all. Pokemon, the first movie.
Oh, the things we could say about this movie growing up.
Oh, this is by far my favorite anime movie.
It's a childhood classic of mine.
And for
Oh,
many
yeah.
other people as well. Ignore those critics, everybody, because Pokemon, the first movie, in actuality, is a banger.
Slaps. The movie slaps.
So
And
let's
I
get-
just want to quickly bring up the fact that Mewtwo of all Pokemon antagonists has the highest body count.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, definitely. So let's go through the story first. First of all, this has 2 stories. First one being Pikachu's Vacation, which is honestly very adorable. You just see the Pokemon interact with each other. You don't even see the humans, and when you do, you only see their legs, like if it was from the old cartoon Cow and
Like
Chicken.
in Tom and Jerry.
Like
oh,
in
yeah,
Tom and
just like that.
Yep. And then, of course, we get to the main movie, which goes completely dark, because we start off with Mewtwo's creation, which then blows up the laboratory where it was formed, found by, what we don't know at the time, Giovanni, who puts him in his gym to harness psychic powers, but reveals that Mewtwo's been turned into a weapon. He flies off back to where he's created and says he's going to get revenge on the entire human race for what's happened to him. Then we jump to Ash, who's still at the beginning of his adventure, getting invited to Mewtwo Island, which starts the entire plot of the movie.
Can I just say quickly right out the bat, Mewtwo in this movie is a fucking menace.
Oh yeah, definitely one of Pokemon's best antagonists so far.
So much so that he returned for a sequel within the Johto series, and it was confirmed that the Mewtwo that appears in Ash's last journey, Masterly, whatever that's called, when he's in the Masters 8, is the same Mewtwo that he met in this movie.
And also, I just remembered as well, it's also quite iconic as well, to the point where many, many years later, this would get remade with a CGI movie with Mewtwo Evolution, but, well, we've seen better. Yeah, we don't.
We don't. Okay, they did fix some things. Like at the beginning of the original, Pikachu took out a golem with a thunderbolt. They changed that. But the CGI is just no.
But they removed the best joke from the movie.
Take it
Which
away.
is?
So, for Ash, Brock, and Misty to get to New Island, Team Rocket dress up as Vikings. They're saying stroke, 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 and then Jessie just comes out with, I think I'm about to have one. I love that joke.
Why did they make...
Stroke. I'm gonna think about to have one.
Why did they cut that out for the CG remake? Why?
And also, Mew is the cutest thing to have ever existed.
Oh, definitely. The first ever mythical, and it hit out of the park with its cuteness. Can we talk about two of the most iconic scenes ever? One being Meowth and his clone talking about life and how we all share the same thing. That is very deep. And then, of course, Mewtwo's final scene when talking to Mew, when Ash sacrificed himself, talking about the gift of life. That is very deep. You don't get that in a lot of kids' movies these days. So I'm glad that the first Pokemon movie really hit home with some of the deep stuff.
I stand by this, that Meow's quote is by far a better example of, like, how to depict equality in a movie than Mewtwo's. Mewtwo's, yes, the circumstances of one's birth is irrelevant, but Meow's is like, we all share everything, but we look at what's different. Let's start looking at what's the same.
I honestly bet if a lot of people see that scene as a child, the world would probably be a different place.
Yeah.
We'd probably be a lot more equality.
I do also want to point out that in Mewtwo's quote, Mew just simply replies with Mew. It's just me high as fuck vibing with my cat. What is the purpose of life?
Yes.
I see now.
Alright, so where are we going to rank this?
Masterpiece, honestly.
I would personally say, I think it's because of the fact that I've seen better animated movies, and I would still say I would put it in amazing, just because it is a pretty solid Pokemon movie and really solid debut on the big screen, and it impacted many people's childhoods that were huge fans of Pokemon.
So we've got one for masterpiece, one for amazing. Well, I remember going to see this in cinema. I had the VHS copy. I don't have it on me right now. It's in storage. I still have it on DVD right here. I still have the collectible Mewtwo card that it came with as well. And again, the funniest thing ever with the DVD is the fact that Togepi is listed as Pokemon 152. which I did
yeah.
another fact short on. But is it still held in high regard for me? Yes. Am I watching it over and over again? No. Which I'm gonna talk about in a later entry. You'll know why when we get to it. But it's still very amazing for me. It is the first ever Pokemon movie. It is the one that made Pokemon huge. One of the reasons, I should actually say.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it in amazing because it's the same thing as Zaku said. I've seen other anime movies. I've seen other movies in general that are really amazing, and while there may not be as many movies that are as like deep as Pokemon the first movie, I still think there are other anime movies that are a bit better for it. But if you're a huge Pokemon fan, then it's a definite must-watch, especially when it introduces one of my favourite legendary Pokemon, Mewtwo. Next one up is Hawthorne's entry. Introduce it.
Do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attack? Basically, the mom Isekai.
I saw constant memes about this back in the day when it was out, and I would not be surprised in the slightest that a shit ton of Rule 34 was made of it.
Oh yeah, there was.
Oh
A
yeah.
shit
I
ton.
know that for a fact.
So basically, the son is getting sick of his mom trying to be very motherly with him because he wants to like be his own person. So when someone says you can go to this digital world, he just jumps in, not realizing it's a mother-son retreat. So she comes with him to the other world, and he just wants to do his own thing, and she's just mothering him the entire time. Even when it came to his stats, like they got 3 magic swords in front of him. He said you can only take one, so he picks his, and the mother takes both because she says, and I quote, "They'll be lonely if they were apart."
And she wants to use them as kitchen knives.
Absolute kitchen knives.
So
Think about that, guys.
And along the way on their journey, they adopt some extra children.
Okay.
So it basically becomes a little harem.
The whole anime is like disguised mother-son therapy.
And one thing I should say, don't watch the OVA. The son loses his memory, and it becomes a love story.
No, that would be in Never Again if that is the case.
He gets his memory back at the end of the day, so he turns back into very passive aggressive, distant, wants to be his own person away from his mother. One thing I'll ask though, Hawthorne, what do you feel about the other girls in this series?
Blue-haired one, she's cute.
That's it.
That is it.
No, the other girls, they're cool. They're cool. I like them. They all provide like a different like balance to the team. But it's like the blue-haired one, yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing because we don't really have that much to talk about, and it's such a meme right now. Where do you want to place it?
You put it in good.
I was just about to say, just throw it in good as well, just for the memes as well.
I mean, yeah, it's sort of good. I'm more leaning towards watchable, honestly. I mean, it was a fun watch when watching it. I'm not exactly jumping to watch it again when I remember it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. If that's the case, we can put it in watchable then.
Yeah.
Just because there's better shows then. I mean, it's only popular because of its status as a meme anime for very, very obvious reasons.
I do gotta say, there is some good shit of this anime.
Maybe it's because I haven't watched it for some time. Maybe if I did recently, it would be good. But from memory, yeah, I'm not exactly jumping to watch this again and again and again.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Next one up is one that's gonna transform your expectations. Henkei Shojo. I might have mispronounced it.
I think I remember this one.
Hawthorne's kind of laughing away. Are you alright down there?
This is something. Because they're only like, what, a minute and 20 seconds long per like,
Episode.
clip.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's so rapid fire, because, like, the one I watched and I remember seeing first was the one of the girl in the pink sweater. Like, she transforms into a fucking car after chugging gasoline.
Yeah, I saw that one as well. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
And also, one of the other ones I remember, I don't know which one this was the one of, like, where it was, like, found footage style. And I think RT knows the exact one I'm on about. Where, I kid you not, Hiyazaku, she attempts to take off her clothes, and she transforms into a transformer.
And you know
Like,
what
literally,
makes...
my only note for this is WTF.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
And do you know what makes it so beautiful at the same time? When you pay attention to the transformation scenes, or when
Oh
they're
yeah,
in
you
a
can
vehicle
see the
form.
underwear.
Oh, God.
Yeah, if you pay attention, you can see the underwear.
It's just Transformers, but what the fuck edition?
Yeah, basically.
Like, imagine seeing Optimus Prime in one episode, just grabbing a huge gas canister, just chugging that shit down just to transform.
Into
You
what? A
imagine
human
this.
man?
Yes, Hawthorne?
Can you imagine something like fucking Transformers turning into dragons? Like, what? Oh wait, you don't have to fucking envision that anymore. Because that's official. There is a Optimus Prime Rathalos figure coming out.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah,
mean,
as
to be
part
fair,
of like Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary and Transformers 40th anniversary.
I mean, to be fair, Transformers is getting a lot of crossovers lately. There's a Naruto Transformer crossover with, I think it's like Naruto turning into Kurama and a frog. But back to the anime. Where are we going to put this?
I mean, it's a meme anime, basically, so
Yeah.
how the hell can we rate this? That's the question.
I would personally put it in never again.
Oh. It's
Because
just
it's
too
that much.
bonkers.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it could go either way. Like, do you buy into this show just for the meme factor that it is, for it to be high, or is it just too insane for you to just not want to watch it again? So I can understand how you would rate it either way. For me personally, I mean, it is short though. It is really short, so you got to take that into account. So I'll probably just say what.
You could binge watch the entire series in basically 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're only like a minute 20 seconds long.
I mean, just because of the length, I would just say watchable, because at least it doesn't last as long as other shows, and at least you can probably get a meme-worthy factor out of it, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to watchable.
The first time I saw that clip of that girl drinking the gasoline, I was fucking laughing my ass off. Like, what the fuck is this?
Next one up is one you're going to have to digitize. Digimon the movie. And yes, I made my own Digibase.
I am trying so hard not to recite the Digi-rap.
Coming, did you see? Did you hear? Did you know what's coming?
A Digi-Jason, he's on the way. Let me hear you say.
Digimon!
It's great.
Look, I don't care what anyone says. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't care what anyone says.
Now I'm gonna get this out of the way. Remember when I said in Pokemon there was another movie I like to rewatch more? This is it.
Go on.
Fair enough.
Alright, so let's get the story out of the way. Digimon the movie is actually 3 separate stories stitched together. Because when Pokemon the movie came out, Fox wanted something to compete against it. So they chose to do Digimon. Unfortunately, Digimon movies are like extra long episodes. They're only like 45 to 50 minutes long usually. So they took the first 3, altered the stories just a tiny bit so they can be all connected. The first story is one that got teased within Digimon Adventures, and that's how Agumon interacted with Tai and Kari when they were young and caused the incident that made them all Digidestins. The second story is called Our War Game, where a Digimon is in the internet, gets affected by a virus, and nearly launches some nukes towards some people within the movie. The third one is called Hurricane Touchdown, where the same virus affected a Digidestin's Digimon in the real world, causing it to Dark Digivolve and chase his Digi partner and anybody who goes to help.
And the major thing that stitches those OVAs together is, of course, the character of Willis.
Yep.
Digidestin that had no significant part in any of those movies until this movie made it a thing. So much so that they name dropped in 2002, that he made cameo appearances in other Digimon movies, just like as a background character, and even plays a prominent role within the card game.
As he was the first Terriermon specific tamer. I want to go over probably the most memorable part of the movie, that being near the end of our war game. Introducing one of the most famous Digimon of all time, Omnimon.
Orphan's original title, Omegamon.
Yeah. This was such a shocker because I think this came out before DNA Digivolving was a thing in 2002 for us in the West. So seeing these Digimon combined was a frightening shock to a lot of people in the theatre. Especially like seeing War Greymon and Melgarurumon pretty much on the edge of death after getting bombarded by millions of Diaboromon.
And the difference, I've seen both the English and Japanese versions of this movie. The differences between how they handle the insane. In the English one, they give him this like rocking soundtrack to be like, yeah, hero rising up again, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that song still slaps.
Yeah, Let's Kick It Up by Paul Gordon.
Rest in peace.
It's a great song. But in the Japanese version, he gets this quieter track. He gets this almost like an angelic track showing his power within that he is a holy knight sent here to kill the devil.
Well, I guess to be fair, he is a royal knight.
Yeah. And you can see why I like this introduction so much, because Omnimon was one of my first favorite Digimon. He still is. He still is one of my favorites.
And still is one of mine as well. Absolutely.
I mean, I got a model kit of Omnimon, and it's one of the first model kits I made.
Nice.
I don't have any Omnimon cards, sadly.
I've got the first Omnimon print from BT1 in the card game.
I ain't forking out $1,000 for the Ghost Rare.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're not doing that.
No. But
anyway,
back to what I was saying about this movie holding higher regard compared to Pokemon. This movie, I watch on repeat a lot compared to the Pokemon movie. I love the Digimon movie. It's one of the movies that gets me hyped up even to this day. I've quoted it in some streams. I think I don't know if we actually made that stream into a video on our channel, Zaku, but I did one point rap the Digi rap in our stream.
Oh yeah, during one of our live streams. Yeah, that was funny.
And it's just amazing to me even now. The final battle within the first part is still very epic even now. The Diaboromon battles within the second story, very epic. And I wish for the third story got a bit of an extension, because I did see the full Japanese battle of the third story, Hurricane Touchdown, and there was some scenes that got cut out I wish they kept in. Like during the Digimon movie, we just see, like in the third Digimon movie, we see Flamedramon somehow getting burst out of the mountain after attacking what we knew at the time Kokomon, but we get no idea why. We just think we just didn't see it because we cut away to Davis. I wish we get that little scene. Who knows? There is a remastered version coming out soon with new voices and all that.
Tech in America.
So maybe they'll add those scenes back into the movie. That would be very cool.
Yeah. I hope so.
From my understanding about that project, it's not only a redub of the original English release, but it's also got an uncut version of all 3 movies in English dub.
So we definitely will get those scenes.
I mean, I hope so. I have to definitely import that when it comes out. I'm definitely going to import it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And with the English dub, some of the line delivery is a bit jank, but some of the lines are bloody hilarious.
It adds charm for me personally.
Like, some of my favourites include, but are not limited to, I go by Greymon now, whatever you want, big guy. He's got pants now. And how do you want your Kokomon? Flame broiled or grilled?
Oh yeah, that's so epic. Can't we get in this quickly? After all, I'm on vacation.
So many iconic lines, especially for the Our Wargame segment, where there was just so many funny moments, especially in that dub.
This is what they mean by surfing the web.
Alright, so let's get to ranking. Where are we placing this?
Also, I
think.
I just remembered a fun fact as well before I give my rating. It also included All-Star.
This had an earlier use of All-Star. This is like one of the first actual uses of All-Star by Smash Mouth.
I believe so.
Way before Shrek.
Yeah, before Shrek. And also, as a bit of an interesting fun fact, the first movie that it was used in was for 1999's Mystery Men. So it was in that first.
Actually, no. It wasn't in Mystery Men first.
Yeah, it was in that first.
It was
until Shrek. Until Shrek.
Inspector Gadget first.
Wait, it was Inspector Gadget first?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was in the live-action Inspector Gadget movie.
Did that came out in the
one of the
exact
songs that came on the radio.
Oh, right.
Wow.
But either way, it also used All Star effectively for the finale as well, for shits and giggles. I always enjoy it.
What we now know as Wendigomon is just dancing behind Willis.
Oh yeah, because we never knew Kokomon's name of his evolutions because we kept calling it Kokomon.
Yep.
Alright, so I think we're all in agreement. Masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
I would.
Gadget did come out the same year.
Same year as Mystery Men. Okay.
Alright.
I would probably put it on the same tier as Pokemon the first movie in Amazing because of the fact that obviously you can tell that it has its issues and you can clearly tell that these stories weren't meant to be stitched together, but I still think they did a pretty good job despite all the hassle. And like I said a long time ago, I consider it to be like a time capsule movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you go back and it reminds you of an easier time and I just can't bring myself to hate it. I just love it.
Yeah, alright, you convinced me. We'll let nostalgia cloud our judgment. We're putting in amazing.
I mean, I'm okay with how you rate it either way, but that's just my personal rating. I would just put it in amazing.
Nah.
But
Nah,
you can
nah,
do it whatever you want.
We better not let nostalgia cloud our judgment. You're right. You're right. It's a rule I try and do on these videos. I don't let nostalgia cloud my judgment.
We can't always win.
Nah. But honestly, yeah, I held the Digimon movie in higher regard to the Pokemon movie. I know if you look at like Rotten Tomatoes, the score is low compared to Pokemon. It wasn't well critically acclaimed, but over time, that's where the nostalgia and the love for the Digimon movie just built and built. But we're going to be continuing on that nostalgia with a sort of continuation: Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna.
And oh boy, it's one of the best Digimon movies that we've gotten, if I'm going to be honest.
Definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, it definitely is. But for those who don't know, Last Evolution Kizuna takes place after the Digimon Tri movies, when the casts are all grown up. And during this story, it's a bit of a bittersweet pill because we have to say goodbye to the Digidestined of Adventures, as Matt and Tai slowly lose their Digimon partners, as they're given a time limit on their Digivice, saying that it's soon going to be the end of their adventures as being Digidestined, as a new enemy known as Aeosmon makes Digidestined from around the world disappear.
But at the same time, though, if you followed Digimon for a long time, especially Digimon Adventure, the original series, and that, man, at points it does hit you in the feels. Seeing this property that you grew up just. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest.
This movie is just a way of saying, old fans, it's time to bid Digimon farewell. It's basically a way of saying it's time to grow up.
And I think it does so pretty well. Well, up until they rebooted it again with the Adventure reboot from 2020, but let's not get sidetracked too much.
I think Last Evolution Kizuna, even though, yes, the 2020 reboot does exist, I think Kizuna perfectly ended off where the original cast was going.
Absolutely. I mean, it gives a lot of the characters we followed from the original series and later follow-ups such an amazing send-off.
I honestly think this is a better ending than Zero to the Beginning did, in my personal opinion. Hot take. That might be a bit of a hot take. But it was definitely a way of rounding things up. And it kind of, though, leaves some questions with the Digimon Zero 2 epilogue, where we see them all grown up with their partners still. But I guess that door can be left open for future telling.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, this movie is pretty good. It did hit me right in the feels, especially since I grew up with Digimon Adventure as a kid. So seeing it come to an end was pretty hard.
Especially for a lot of 90s kids that grew up on this, like us.
And after establishing Digimon the movie, I'm still really big into Digimon, even being into the card game. Even though it's a bit of a struggle for us UK people who find it very hard to get some packs. But anyway, that's Evolution Kizuna. Where do we think to put it?
I personally would put it in amazing. Don't get me wrong, I think it is masterpiece worthy. There's just a couple things about it that kind of rub me the wrong way. Mostly with the fact that Zero to the Beginning exists.
Oh yeah.
I would argue possibly masterpiece as well, but at the same time, I'm kind of torn, to be honest, guys. I'm kind of torn.
As for me, I have to put this in amazing. Because you're honestly right. Zero Two kind of affects this movie in a continuity sort of way. Especially with the epilogue and the movie after. We don't really know how this movie can affect the whole story. Either we follow what happens in the epilogue and we just say goodbye to Agumon and Gabumon and the rest of the Digimon partners for a period of time until their parents probably, until they have kids. Or we take the 0-2 route and it doesn't matter that it's the end, we can still have fun with them as adults. I don't know. But on its own, it is a really great movie. The visuals are amazing, the story is great, and of course we get the Bond evolutions. I know a lot of people don't like the Bond evolutions, but they look so good. Next one up, guys, it asks the age-old question, what's better, guns or magic? Arifureta, from commonplace to world's strongest.
It answers both of them with magic guns.
Alright, so I'm guessing Hawthorne, you've seen this. Ironzaku, you're quiet, so I'm guessing no?
Never quite had the time to, but I'm more than welcome to hear you out about this anime.
Alright, well, get ready, because in the anime the story is a bit, what happened is told out of order, but I will put it in order for you, because it makes sense story-wise why we're told this situation out of order. So, our entire class, including the teacher, gets transported to another world where they each get one unique skill to become heroes. Our main character is given the skill of language translator, so already he's given a rubbish power. But while exploring the labyrinth of the kingdom and fighting off a monster, he has to run from a bridge that's collapsing, but notices that a classmate attacks him, and he gets blasted off a bridge and plummeted many stories into the labyrinth.
Ooh, talk about betrayal.
So he vows revenge, of course. He vows to find whoever did this to him and vow revenge. Gets attacked, but manages to beat the monster, and in order to survive the labyrinth, he chooses to do the unthinkable and eat it, which gives him a bit of a metamorphosis, and by changing his hair to white, and gives him a buff to stats, including giving him all the monster skills. And I forgot to mention, since he fell, he lost an arm, so he's doing this all one-handed. Along the way, he finds a vampire sealed away, and she says she was betrayed, which left him to free her because he understands the feeling. He wants to get revenge as well. So they team up to try and go through the labyrinth until they come across this secret room, which has, I can only describe as a 8-headed snake monster. They manage to beat him at the cost of our main character's eye, which they learn that this labyrinth is home to ancient magic, and that the history they'll told this world is wrong. So with the power of the ancient magic, he not only gives himself a new arm, he also puts a gem in his eye socket, which gives him the ability to see better than what most people would see, as well as giving him a whole new bunch of arsenals, bazooka, rocket launchers, rifles, you name it, he can make it. And he vows to get out of the labyrinth and hope to return to his original home.
It's certainly a something anime.
I can definitely imagine that might be the case considering what I just heard, but I do like what I've heard about it.
I may as well say, it's just hit season 3 right now at the time of recording. Season 3, episode 2, I believe, at the time of recording. It might be further along, or might be completed by the time this video is released. This usually takes a month for this video to edit down. But along his journey, he does come across some other creatures, and girls, I should say, and they join his team, like a bunny girl, a dragon girl. One of his classmates chooses to join him, and she gets a new body. And of course, his personality does a whole 180. He's one of those characters that just doesn't care at the end, because of course, he was abandoned and revenge has consumed him. But of course, I'm pretty sure one part of this you'll definitely like Zaku is the fact that he's got a whole bunch of weapons, and literally everything he makes has a gun.
Yeah, lots of guns, a new arm included. Like, it's kind of giving me Devil May Cry vibes.
Alright, Hawthorne says, I know you've seen this, so have you got anything of note to say about this anime?
These two know exactly what my love for Dragon Girls are. Tio. Tio is hot.
Quite, though, an entrance for her. She literally
Oh,
gets the
yeah.
wrong
She
end of a
gets
pile
the spear
driver.
of a pile bunker up her ass.
Oh.
And you won't guess why that's happened.
Why?
It's to tame her.
Yep.
Oh god.
And in case you're wondering, this all happened in her dragon form way before they learned it was a girl.
Okay.
But yeah, with Tio, Elma, and Lingsha from Star Rail, yeah, Dragon Girls might be my thing.
Alright, so where are we going to rank this?
I'd say good. Like it's not horrific, but it's not like absolutely amazing. The concept is cool. Don't get me wrong.
I'll probably go along with that just because I like the premise of what you said and how it has lots of guns and that. So yeah.
I'm stuck with amazing, actually, because I like a good revenge story, and the fact that he's a character that just doesn't give a two flying tosser, but with everyone around him, I kind of sympathize a little bit. We're gonna say I'm sucker for revenge stories done right, and this one is a revenge story done right. But I gotta admit, there are some stories that do a bit better, but there are moments of this anime I cannot not admit that I just kept rewatching because it's so funny or so relatable. So for now, I'll agree and put in good. Who knows? Maybe season 3 will definitely bump it up to amazing. Next up, guys, is one you're not gonna sleep through. Call of the Night.
I'll admit that anime does have a pretty cool sounding title.
Basically, the plot of it is our main protagonist, Ko, after being bullied so much that he doesn't want to go to school anymore, goes out at night just to see what goes on. He meets a woman named Nazuna, who is later revealed to be a vampire. Other vampires intimidate him and tell him he has 1 year to fall in love with Nazuna, or he'll be killed by them. And from there on out, it's kind of a spooky rom-com slice of life kind of anime.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I don't really see this anime in high regards. I saw a lot of people give it high regards around the time when this was released, but I, after watching it, found it a chore.
Fair enough.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good rom-com story. I think I've spoken how many times of my love for Horimiya as a good example? How about Toradora? But this, it was a chore.
I'd be asking why it's such a chore by any chance.
Well, I just don't like our main character. Alright, I tried to watch the first episode at the beginning, before recording this, to try and remind myself of stuff about it. And again, the first episode was a chore. Like, the episode starts off with him saying, no one understands him, and yet a girl confesses her feelings to him, and he just does not care. And that's where all the bullying starts. I had a quick look at the summary of it. Apparently he suffers from like insomnia, so he just struggles to sleep, and that's one of the reasons why he thinks people will not understand him or see things from his perspective, because he just can't sleep. But, come on. I don't know why. And then when he goes out and sees the nightlife, sees like it's amazing, spectacular, I'm just thinking, you're painting the nightlife what it's not like. I don't recall the nightlife being like this, but then again, it's probably the supernatural aspect, because again, vampires and all that, but it was just a chore. I couldn't help but nitpick throughout the entire anime about it, and I just couldn't enjoy it.
I might have a good idea where you're going to place this, but again, from my end, I haven't fully seen it, so I can't comment whether or not I think it is amazing or bad, so I'll leave it to you guys.
I did personally really like it, but that's because slice of life kind of things, and any take on that is kind of my cup of tea. So I'd put it in good.
You'd put in good.
Yeah, I would.
Shall we meet in the middle and then put in watchable?
Oh, were you thinking of putting it in Never Again for a moment?
Yeah, I was.
I can
It's like-
appreciate watchable.
Yeah, 'cause
From what I've heard, I might say watchable just because at least we could agree that there are far worse animes than this.
Yeah, because honestly, I did not want to watch this anime again. Like I said, it was a chore. I do not know if there's a season 2 coming, but I'm definitely not watching it if there is. Next one up, Ironzaku. This is your choice, so take it away.
And yes, it's the quote unquote anime adaptation of one of the most popular Western shows ever, apparently. Rick and Morty, the anime. Yes, it exists.
Why, though? Let's just get the big thing out of the way first of all, to why I don't like it. This is what we see in the West, and this is the anime version of it, and it's disgusting!
The animation is just dreadful and it's slow, awkward. And look, hear me out. Rick and Morty, if I'm allowed to be devil's advocate, the original show, it wasn't a great looker as well, but this one, that's all I can say. It
Like,
made me want to violently vomit.
Like, I tried the first episode, both Japanese and English, and I could not get through it. At all. Call of the Night was a struggle, but I should have watched it. Rick and Morty anime? I wanted out as soon as it started.
And let's just address another elephant in the room with this show. In comparison to its original series, where at least it sprinkles in comedy that it's known for, this one just takes itself way too seriously than it should.
Should we continue beating around the bush, or should we just go ahead and put it where we need to? We can't. We're not even going to talk about the story because is there even a
Rick and
story?
Morty.
No.
I mean, we could try, but at the same time, though, considering how it's supposed to, I guess, connect with the original series, try to put 2 and 2 together with this one is just going to make your head explode. And honestly, I doubt many people watching are going to care about us not discussing about the plot.
Yeah.
Or the characters, for that matter, because I just don't care about them as much.
Alright, I think we're unanimous where we're going to put it.
Yeah, I was just going to say it right out. Never again. And you know
No
what's
complaints?
funny now that I realised?
What?
Guys. We have finally have an anime for Never Again. Rick and Morty, the anime, is
That
now
isn't
in
a
this.
meme.
Yeah, listen, it's now in the same tier as Boku no Pico. After all these years, Reese, we finally have an anime for Never Again.
It's a miracle! Yeah!
Cue the flashback in case anyone's confused by what I mean by that.
Flashback.
Oh no! There's the bots! No! 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 Oh, but this is pretty cute. Oh, not again! End of flashback.
So, in conclusion, don't even bother.
Next one up is one girls don't want to go near. Aesthetica of a rogue hero.
And I'm sure we can guess why.
Yeah, because this one is an ecchi!
Oh Christ.
Going from Rick and Morty to ecchi. Oh my god, what a goddamn whiplash.
No.
So, what is this about? Well, in the world of Aesthetica the Rogue Hero, there are two worlds a bit connected. People from our world suddenly gets transported to this magical world and then eventually can go back but never return to the magical world. And when they return all their magical powers. Unfortunately, within our world, people are scared of them. So they built a secure academy where they can train these people to use their magical abilities for the sake of their world. And within that story comes our hero, who decided to take the Demon Lord's daughter back to his world, which is against the law, to try and live a normal life because people within the other world want her head because she's the daughter of the demon lord. So they live a normal life in the academy while our main hero basically does his own thing and likes to, for lack of a better word, assault the women.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, lovely indeed.
Yep, skirts go flying, and they're not the only things that come flying off.
Oh my god.
Oh, oh no.
Yeah, this is definitely an ecchi anime, alright.
Yeah, but I gotta say, the animation at least is beautiful when it comes, for the most part. Even the battle scenes are great to see.
Yeah.
Because, of course, these are magical battles, people are using magic, and they've got abilities to conjure up weapons. Even in the final few episodes, they use their powers to make their own battle armor. And, of course, I can't escape this because it's one of my favorite lines. Our main character knows more about babushkas than he should probably know.
Okay.
Yep, that's all I can say as well. Okay.
I'm guessing you two gave this a skip.
Yeah.
I'm guessing if you did knew about it, you probably would have not watched it.
Oh, for me, my tastes are a lot more tame.
Oh,
I
hey!
can attest to that.
So, it's up to me to rank it.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, well, I might as well say, unlike our Fable ranking of High School DxD, which you like to put a knife to my throat about, Zaku, this one only has one season, 12 episodes, and it's a short story. I don't think, it only came out in 2013, 2012, something like that, and there is no season 2. So honestly, if you want to see the full story, you have to go get the manga or the light novel. So, alright, since it's up to me to rank, I may as well say it's going in good. Because it is quite a good series. I enjoy rewatching it now and again. It is one of the ecchis I tend to not remember, believe it or not, because I remember the story a bit more than the fan service. But the fan service is good on a rewatch. But it's almost a bit too much at points. Like, I can appreciate it, but there are times where I think, is this really the time to do it? Next one up is one we're going to have to clap our hands to. Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood.
I mean, it's Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. What else can we say about this anime that hasn't already been said?
It's one of the Fable legendary anime that's always in everyone's top 10 lists.
And
yeah.
for
And
good reason.
Very good reason.
Is there a point for us to go over the story, or is it just one of the stories that just no point in saying?
I suppose since it is a classic, we might as well. So, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood follows our title protagonist, the Elric brothers, who early on in the series tried to bring back their mother through alchemy that, well, if you've seen this show, I don't think you need me to tell you what happens next. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
It kind of failed big time.
Yeah, not only did it completely bite them in the ass, but Edward, surviving the process, tries to fuse his brother back into a suit of armor.
They go on a journey and to try and find a way to restore the brother's body so they can be a family again, while also trying to uncover the secrets of the Philosopher's Stone.
And might I add as well, now that I remembered now, this wasn't the first time that Fullmetal Alchemist got adapted into an anime, because we already had the first adaptation from 2003, which I believe at the time did so when the manga wasn't fully completed, so at some point it did its own thing for a bit, and then Brotherhood came along, and I believe it was a lot more faithful to the source material.
Yeah, it was not, the manga was not complete, the story overall was not complete, So when the anime caught up right at the end, they just chose to have an anime only ending. So when Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood came out, they skipped the beginning part of the story and went from like middle to end, if that makes sense.
It's a damn good anime.
Absolutely. Like, it's got a lot going for it. I love how alchemy works within this world because it has its own rules for what you can and can't do, and vice versa. And also, can we also address the characters in this show are, for the most part, from the protagonists to the villains, bloody good.
Very good. The story had me right on the edge of my seat. There's two in particular openings I really love listening to as well. So the music as well is top notch.
Absolutely. Music is great. The animation's still amazing after all these years. The English dub is still fantastic as always. And even though early on I did struggle a bit, admittedly, to trying to remember the story, there is one thing about the show that is absolutely infamous that always makes everyone's blood boil.
We get a fuck you, Shao Tucker.
Yeah. what that man did, I mean, to quote Samuel Jackson a bit, just to remix a quote, yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
Oh, definitely. He's in everyone's top 10 villain list.
And for good reason as well. Like, look, does Shao Tucker have a high kill count as other iconic anime villains like, I don't know, Frieza or Madara? No. Does he have such spite as someone like Dio? No. But think about this. What he did in that short amount of time was just, oh my god.
I would say what he did is equivalent to, probably a bit controversial here, equivalent to Ragyo Kiryuin.
It's basically something no fan ever wants to talk about.
Yeah, you can't even defend him at all. You can't even defend Shao Tucker. There's nothing you can defend him for at all.
It's almost like a taboo if you're a fan to speak about it.
Yeah, he's like the worst father in animation for a reason. Like, I thought Buck Cluck from Chicken Little was a shit dad, but my god, Shao Tucker is just fucking terrifying.
But apart from that one episode, where are we going to put it?
Do we even need to explain any further than that? Masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
Very well then, it's going straight up into Masterpiece.
And I want to quickly bring up, like, one of my absolute favorite characters who genuinely got me to, like, rethink everything I think about life.
Okay.
Gonna sound really weird. Kimbley. J. Kimbley. He basically said to Alphonse in one of the episodes that there is, despite you and your brother wanting to get your bodies back to the way they were, there's always the possibility that you fail miserably.
Yeah.
And always keep that possibility in your head.
Yeah.
Also, as a side note as well, since I just remembered, always check out Brotherhood for the first time, and for the love of God, and I'm sure Hawthorne's going to get Vietnam flashbacks, do not watch the live action movies on Netflix. Do not.
No.
They are absolutely garbage.
The only redeemable thing about those movies is the fact that they cast Scar really fucking well. That is the only redeemable thing.
Like,
next one up is one we're going to have to go straight to the Stone drawing board about. Dr. Stone.
AKA the anime where nearly everybody on planet Earth turns to stone.
I'm guessing you two have finally watched this?
I have not, for the simple fact that the titular character pisses me off.
Dr. Stone pisses you off?
The actual character of Dr. Stone pisses me off because he's such an arrogant dickhead about how smart he is.
Wouldn't you?
I don't know. I'm not smart. I'm playing gacha games.
I can attest to that. He really loves playing his Honkai
I
Star
like playing
Rails.
Star Rail. Okay?
Yeah.
Onto the story, though. It involves now at times suddenly being lit up by a green light, turning everyone into stone. Thousands of years pass, and Senku is the first human to wake up, and is tasked to try and restore the rest of humanity, try and free them from being petrified, and try and figure out who did the petrification. Along the way, finds remnants of humanity that were not turned to stone and teams up with them and creates the kingdom of science. But I gotta say, the big thing about Dr. Stone that I really do appreciate is the use of science. They really show the power of science with it and draw like a map of how things can be made into real life. Sort of like gives you the idea, oh yeah, you can make like a phone in real life, just know how these things work and show that science is not as complicated as people think.
Yeah.
I can really appreciate that.
I'm definitely looking forward to the newest season that's going to come out. I believe it's season 4, where they try and, I think it's like either jet off to space or travel most of the world. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of the world before blasting off into space. It's been a while since I've seen season 3, because I've known for the longest time that rocket science is one of the most simplest sciences to do, despite the phrase, it ain't rocket science. Because I remember going to a science expo years ago and being told rocket science is very simple. So I'm looking forward to see how they tackle the whole rocket science thing and like show, yeah, it's very simple. So I'm guessing this is going to be another case of I'm going to be the one ranking this again because you two have not seen it or you chose to drop it for reasons.
I viscerally hate the protagonist.
You're not gonna let the show go because of the main lead, are you?
No, I'm not.
You know Senku isn't like the be all end all. Well, I guess it is. You know Senku's not like the main. Oh wait, yeah. Okay, so you just really hate the protagonist and you really can't stand the story because of it.
I just really hate the titular character.
Why not the other side characters? Don't you find them interesting?
It's... No, because half of them feel like boring, bland as bread, and I've seen some of them when they look off model, and they look really off model.
I mean, I'll say this quickly as well. I mean, it's been a long while since I've watched this because I had other shows at the time. I enjoyed it for what it was. I still need to finish it off. So my rough impressions is that so far, I think I would put it in good for now, just because I haven't fully completed it yet. But I'm probably going to have to at the end of this video.
I'm guessing Hawthorne's going to put in never again because of Senku.
Yeah, never again. Never again.
Well, I actually have to say amazing because I love the science part of it. And Dr. Stone to me is one of those anime that falls through the cracks when it comes out because it always comes out when other juggernaut anime come out, so it never gets like the attention it deserves. But because of that, yeah, I'm going to put in good for now. I'm going to agree with Zaku for now, put in good. It's a very good story. You have to use your head quite a lot, so it's not really something you can like sit back and turn your brain off. It's something that you have to like really get involved to like understand. It's one of those big brain shows. And finally, guys, is one for the gambling addicts, Kakegurui Twin.
Just like that, we are back to the anime world where we have some psychopath that is horny to gambling.
Oh yeah.
Because mainly, Hawthorne, if memory serves, this is one of your favourites. Kakegurui is one of your favourite animes.
I do really like Kakegurui. Not for the reasons people think. I like it for the animation and the fact that in every single episode they call someone out for cheating.
Oh,
And a little bit of a story time here. One time I was in a call with our to-do list, and I can't remember what the conversations were about beforehand, but we got onto the topic of anime intros. I showed this man Deal with the Devil by Tia, which is Kakegurui's first intro. And the next call I had with this man, he told me he binged the entire series.
Never underestimate an otaku who makes time for his anime.
Motherfucker, I'm the gambling addict here.
You know what's funny as well? I even remembered last time when we talked about Kakegurui, I had to fight against Artie and you tooth and nail to not make sure it wasn't going to be in Masterpiece, because I remembered saying before, if you put it in Masterpiece, you were going to be putting it above Spirited Away, and I won. That's why I had my Walter White moment for Breaking Bad. I won.
Well, it's gonna help them to learn it's not going to be on the same level as the main Kakegurui series. Let's go over the story as to why to first know why. So the story involves not our main characters, but a side character we mainly get introduced, and how she got into the school and how she became known as one of the big gamblers.
Yeah, the basic plot is that it's a prequel that follows one of the side characters, like you just said, Artie, Mary. And if you liked Kakegurui's initial run, you like Twin, because it's just more Kakegurui.
But it's a nice mini-series. It's only got a handful of episodes. I think 6.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. Alright, so where are we going to put this?
I think I wouldn't be remiss to say, once again, amazing, for the simple fact that, as I said, it's just more Kakegurui.
Yeah, it is more Kakegurui, but without our main lead, which, for me, was the thing that was driving the series. Not Mary. So I guess if you're like a Mary fan, then this is something for you. But for me, I'm going to put this in good. Because
Fair enough.
that's it. It's good. That's it. It's an interesting story. I loved what happened, but I honestly don't see it on the same level as the main Kakegurui story. And there we have it, guys. These are the ranking for 2024's random anime tier list.
And after a very, very long time, we finally have something for never again.
Yes, to go alongside the infamous Boku no Pico.
That is just cursed the more you think about it.
But I enjoyed ranking these. I agree with the places we put them. It's actually made me want to rewatch some of these animes. What are your guys' opinion on this list and rankings?
I do mostly agree with them. Like I said, I would personally put Dr. Stone in Never Again for the simple fact of the characters, really. The sciencey stuff I like, but just personally for the characters, Never Again. They just rub me the wrong way.
I agree with the ratings for the most part. I'm proud of the animes we discussed, and I am mostly indifferent to how all of these are rated, so all I can say is I'm proud of the discussions we had, and I had a lot of fun, as always.
So that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you two for joining in, but there's one thing left to ask. What do you think? Do you guys like our list? Do you disagree with some of our rankings? Leave it all down in the comment section down below. And heck, while you're down there, why don't you go ahead and give this video a like? It really helps out. And why don't you also hit the subscribe button? It really helps this channel out. So with all that out of the way, I'm going to force Zaku and Hawthorne here to watch Ironzaku. So until next time, guys, this is us, signing out. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
See you later.